I'm Alex.
And I'm Teddy.
And I'm Spencer.
And we are
The Button Mappers.
Hey, the Button Mappers.
Yeah,
We asked 100
what do you think of Magic
high
School
school
Bus
kids, what's the Magic School Bus theme? And they
I
said,
don't think that's the demographic for the Magic School Bus.
well, they
That'd
might
be
be
a different
high
show if it
in
was high school
school,
kids.
so their school bus
Yeah.
is kind of magical.
There's something strange on the Magic School Bus. Who are you gonna call?
Magic School Bus!
Liz
Driver.
Liz something. What's her name? Liz, right? That was the Liz Driver. That's her last name forever.
Liz
That's Adam
Driver.
Driver's mom. Liz Driver, but she was the teacher, but she also drove the school bus.
Hmm.
Well, yeah, why the hell did she drive? Was she getting paid for two jobs? Or
She's
was
really
she...
punk rock, really DIY.
Yeah.
I think the school is just budgeting there. I think they were like, you also drive the bus.
And Teddy, we're gonna have to use your recording because I didn't start recording until like after the song that I just sang. So it's not gonna make any sense to the viewer.
Okay.
You have to like puzzle piece it together.
Yeah. We'll make it a mystery.
Very
People can just
pertinent
guess that.
information to the episode. The Halo versus
I was-
discourse.
I was thinking like all three of us record and then you just use all three recordings but like snip it all together. So
Yeah. Well, we do it
slightly wrong.
very Tarantino. So we released 3 different videos and we cut at random places. And so you just and they're out of order, so you just kind of have to piece it together yourself.
It'd be
So
like
this-
no, that'd be like we start mid podcast and then we do a
Right.
flashback to the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
And then it goes through the mid podcast again.
Yeah.
The mid podcast.
And then we cut off the end of it and make it its own podcast.
I agree.
Yeah. Genius.
Welcome, everyone. It's Halo month. Put on your helmets and grab your Mountain Dew. We're here to put Master Chief
I have
of
coffee.
the Halo series up against some of his finest competitors. Destiny, Wolfenstein, Doom, Call of Duty. I'm forgetting one.
Fat Princess. I'm just kidding. We're not doing Fat Princess.
Gears of War.
What even?
Gears of... Yeah, how could I forget? Wow. And Splatoon. Subscribe, because that's what you wanted. Whether you knew it or not.
But we didn't put any PlayStation shooters on here. Do they have shooters? I guess like Killzone or something. Right?
Yeah, Killzone. Oh my god, we should have put Killzone in as a joke. But that was
Yeah,
our-
Uncharted, maybe?
I
The
do.
PlayStation Halo
I don't think
collection.
I've ever played Killzone in my life. I played what was it one on PS3 that
yeah.
Ratchet guys did?
Yeah.
Resistance or something, right? Fall
Oh,
of
Man.
Man. Yeah,
Something
I
like
played
that,
that one once, and I was like, meh.
Halo Killer.
The Halo Killer.
The Halo Killer. Halo's so going down.
Halo's in real trouble this time.
PlayStation 3, you're gonna get him in this $600
Yeah.
console.
That everyone really wanted to pay for, yeah. What a disaster.
Yeah, welcome back to Halo Month. I'm very excited to do this. This is our second time doing a versus episode. First time we did Treasure, and this time
Yeah.
we're doing something that might be a little more popular. Treasure.
Here's hoping.
We're trying to break out of the niche, you know?
Yeah. You know,
Niche
first person
to wish.
shooters, they've been around for a while, you know. Our grandpappies made them in the 90s, and then we've been enjoying them ever since. Big
Yeah.
audience. The three of us, we're not really we can enjoy first person shooters, but we're not really like first person shooter experts, right? So I think it's safe to say.
Spencer's probably an
as-
expert.
Spencer, are you an expert?
Well, I'm not a console pleb, that's for sure. I play Overwatch on PC. I play Fortnite, although it's third person shooter, but it has FPS elements. Call of Duty on PC. Battlefield I've dabbled in. I did Counter-Strike back in the day. Team Team Fight Tactics. I almost said. Team Fortress. So. Yeah, I played a couple of first-person shooters in my day. Okay.
Pure
Hey,
X-ray.
listen, I own a laptop, okay?
I play Roblox. No, when it comes to me, I lean more towards like old school first person shooters, like sort of like the single player experiences. So that's sort of where I come from. Played a lot of older, Halo, of course. Obviously, I picked Halo for a reason. But also I think like GoldenEye to fucking Doom, Wolfenstein, Turok, like that sort of stuff is sort of my jam. So that's where I'm coming from. Tool Rock. Ah, yeah, Tool Rock.
That will forever live in my brain.
Yeah, from the first game. I am Torok.
Okay. I'm Spencer. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Turok. Yeah, I'm Teddy.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Turok. His name's not even Torok. It's like Talset.
Tobias, right? Talbius? Something like that, yeah.
Tobias. I just think
Tobias
of the fucking
Funke.
guy from Arrested Development. I just think of Tobias Funke.
I love Danny
Never
DeVito.
That's not the same show.
Right.
Wrong show, Teddy. Teddy, what's your first-person shooter style?
I come from a little
Where
town.
you come from?
Small town. Smallville. There's a show.
That was a show, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. That was one of the shows.
Popping off.
Yeah, I grew up in the 360 era with the Halos and the Call of Duties. I started at 2 because that's when Call of Duty really picked off. And I
You were
started at
age
Halo
2?
Age 2,
Yeah,
Call of
sorry.
Duty 2, Halo 2, and it wasn't even an FPS. It was a 2PS. I had 2 PlayStation 1s. No, I'll be real.
Tied together.
Yeah, one on each arm. Halo 2 and Call of Duty 2 were my starting points. And yeah, I'm pretty nostalgic for them, but I like the bow in a good fantasy game. I pick Legolas in the Lord of the Rings GameCube games. I like magic in Skyrim. Casting balls of fire with my first-person hands. So, no, I don't know. I did like competitive multiplayer, and I was kind of into it, but not like obsessed. It's just a thing. You're in grade school, and it was a thing you did with your friends every night, and like that's as much as I really played. And sometimes without my friends, just with strangers on the internet, and those relationships dissipated when I sold my Xbox. But interesting time to be alive, and going back and playing FPS games now, I think I erased them from my brain because the market was so saturated. Everything felt so samey for a decade. It's nice. It's actually refreshing. There's I'm able to filter through a lot of the crap out there and play some of the best of the best.
It does. We kind of joked about it, but it seemed like back then, it seemed like every year or so we'd hear about the next Halo killer, right? And it was like everything was coming out as Halo. I remember whenever the Conduit on Wii came out, that was the Halo killer for the Wii. What a joke. But yeah, it was just like every fucking year it was like, this one's gonna take down Halo, and eventually Halo just took down itself. But until that point, it was the reigning king of the FPS genre for many years. Couldn't buy a bottle of Mountain Dew without seeing Master Chief's dumb face. Or dumb helmet. Even his face.
Well, now we get to see if any of them actually succeeded in being a Halo killer, besides 343 Studios, which takes the crown. But we'll find out today.
Suicide.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great title for the episode. The Halo Killers.
The last matchup, Halo versus Halo.
Yeah.
Implosion.
Bungie Halo versus 343. Is it a question?
I mean,
It is.
that's a video that everyone knows the answer to, but it would still be interesting.
By definition, it is a question.
You're not wrong, Alex. Spencer, are you getting freeze frames from Alex?
I am, Alex. We
Am
may
I freezing?
unfortunately have to have you
Aw,
go to
man.
the Wario face.
There you go. Beautiful Wario. Do you like that face? That's the fucking guy from Zelda CDI. He's like the market guy, but somebody made him into Wario.
AI.
He's a beautiful man.
I would have assumed that was Gabe
Yeah.
Newell, but all right.
The AI made him into Wario. Damn
What if
you, AI.
Wario was made in like Zelda CDI style? What would that look like?
There it is.
What's the AI software?
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Like the picture generator.
There's a lot.
Let me name one.
Like
Voodoo.
ChatGPT.
What's the one you use for
Making shit up.
Ash with a skirt?
I literally just Googled it. The first one that came up. There's like a million of them now.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. I used to use one of them.
Stable diffusion. There's a million.
I love how some of them are so like off. Like when you were like I mean I remember one time I asked for Dexter Morgan at a birthday party, and it was like all the pictures were like Michael C. Hall, but they were like sort of like slightly off Michael C. Hall. Just at a birthday party. I was like, what a stupid request.
I used it. It's so funny that like the biggest companies just seriously have no idea what they're doing. I use Photoshop. They added a new feature that you could put AI things in it, but they're only like AI things from their own library. So you can't just ask for anything, and if you ask for a dragon, it'll be like the 2 dragons that they have, and they'll just plop them into the picture. It's so embarrassingly bad. It's still a nightmare.
Was it Trogdor?
But they're also terrified of AI because it's like the freedom to say whatever you want is going to just be like racist and go against whatever agenda they have. So they just try to limit it, which is it's just funny to watch them just be afraid of their own technology.
The fact that this conversation is stemming from ugly Wario.
Mm-hmm. A deep.
It's deep
No,
real.
no.
It's not even deep fake.
uglier Wario, as if Wario wasn't ugly enough.
Come on, he's a sex god. He's beautiful.
You're right. I love him.
Body
all right,
of the
we should probably
gods. There we go.
we should probably get started.
All right, what's first?
It makes sense to do this one first. We're gonna do Halo versus Bungie's other child, Destiny. What happened when they left Halo? They made Destiny.
Everybody remembers Destiny, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I have big time memories of this game.
Resident FPS expert Spencer. Just so we know, we want to acknowledge him. Alex, what were you gonna say?
Pro. My memories of Destiny are more that time period after they left Halo, like 2012, 13, somewhere around there, whenever they were really hyping up Destiny, because I remember it was big news, like they were pushing the PS4 version of Destiny hard. I remember being like, oh man, Bungie's pushing a PlayStation title this time. Whoa, you know? And I'm being like, oh man, this is going to change the industry. And it didn't. But, you know, it was just kind of.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think it did
Okay,
change the industry.
Okay.
For the worse?
Spencer, yeah.
It changed
Spencer,
it. You know,
Spencer, lay it on us. Lay some Destiny knowledge.
let me hit you with some knowledge, dog.
Drop some
Nope.
knowledge. Spencer.
Keep this. No, I don't. When this game came out, it was a big. It was a big deal. Destiny was, Bungie was considered Microsoft's basically
Golden child.
savior, golden child, whatever you want to call it, of just like everything you loved about Microsoft was because of Halo and therefore Bungie. Well, it's what's going to happen if they leave Microsoft, which they did, and become their own thing. Like all the reins are broken. They're free to make whatever they want. Whatever Bungie wants to make and thinks will be marketable, they have now a free like carte blanche to do it. And they chose to combine, and again, we hadn't played it, or we didn't know exactly what it was going to be, but we were told RPG meets first person shooter. And I mean, as a fan of both, nothing could be more interesting. I was captivated by it. I know my friends were, specifically my buddy Eric was obsessed with this game, and I think still might even play the second one. It still has a fan base. I think that's important to note, despite none of us are, I assume, are big fans of it, but it does actually have a continuous fan base, and they do constantly update it. What I think it introduced and normalized was, or helped to normalize, other games were doing it as well, but what I think its biggest impact was like the normalization of games as a service, and to have you invest in the brand, and because you're invested in the brand, they can continuously sell you the product. And I think Destiny was a huge piece of that, of trying to get people, once they got you, they can just continuously sell you skins, cosmetics, dyes for your gun. I have so many things to say about that, but and then expansions, and just constantly releasing. So the game that they release early is not the finished product; it's a product in progress. And I think Destiny helped normalize that, at least for consoles, in a major way.
Yeah, it seems like and after you're right in that sense, because after Destiny launched, it seemed like every company was doing their own Destiny almost. I remember the one that stands out to me that just failed tremendously, then they did a second one that I think also failed, was the Tom Clancy Division. Remember that? Where it was like, I remember the lead up for that was like, you're in like New York and it's like gonna fall apart or something, and it's always online, you're playing together, and then nobody played it or something, and then they did the second one, and I'm like, why did you do more of this? but yeah, it just seemed like everybody was like hopping on that same bandwagon. But yeah, I guess you're right. Destiny would have been the first one that was really pushing it hard.
I had such a hatred towards Destiny, and I don't know that I still do, but I'm still very biased against it. I could never see myself playing this. At the time, it really, and I know it's the Halo guys, but it literally just felt like more multiplayer Halo, which shouldn't be a bad thing. That should be a good thing. But I think the issue I had was like, it really felt uninspired and unnecessarily hyped. And when a thing is getting so hyped, because for the time, I remember my friends being obsessed with it too. Not all of them, a couple of them. And I was just like, this looks like the same game minus a campaign with co-op. So I really didn't appreciate Destiny, and I don't know if I ever could. But I'm jaded, so I think you know where my vote's going.
My buddy David, he was super into Halo. And then whenever Destiny came out, he sort of hopped over to that. And then I remember, like, he tried to get me into it, and I just couldn't get into it. And then I remember one time he even bought me a copy of the first Destiny. He was like, play it with me.
Geez.
Yeah. He was like, play it with me. And I was like, all right. And I tried, I like genuinely tried, but it just wasn't, it was too like grindy for me to be like a fun shooter game. It was just like, I felt like I was wasting my damn time playing that game.
It's for specific types of gamers, which is unfortunate because Halo is really for everybody. I don't think there's a person that really doesn't like, the original Halos. Like, anybody that plays that is just having a good time. This game, and a lot of games like it, I feel are meant to prey on people that are like addicted to work, for lack of a better word. Just people that want to see a checkbox filled in, people that want to see a number go up, and that's like, I respect it. It's just not what I am as a gamer, and I find it unfortunate that that's what Bungie decided is what they wanted to do with their their pedigree.
Yeah, so much lost potential, man. Because going back and playing the all through the Master Chief Collection -4, the other 5 games on that collection that are all Bungie made, they're fantastic, and they still play great. So it's like, damn, man, it's kind of sad to see them go to this. And they've done 2 of the Destiny games, I guess a bunch of expansions, but I guess that counts as like other games in games or something. But still, it seems like it's lost potential to me. Yeah, I'm not really into this one.
So let's go ahead and vote. The Halo series versus the Destiny series. You want to say something?
I think there's more to say though.
Okay.
Because
say it. Preach, brother.
One interesting thing about Destiny, and Bungie in particular, is through this process, they ended up merging in certain ways with companies like Blizzard, because they partnered with Activision.
Oh my god, dude. Well, hold on, wait. Yeah, did they become a part of Blizzard?
I don't know officially, but
I know
they're
Activision
but they're
published
on
the
the
game.
they're on the launcher with Blizzard. Like with if you download BattleNet, they're on it, or they were. Destiny was on it, so it's you can't help but think that they had some crossover, and you can see it in the design of some of Destiny's multiplayer, where they do dungeons and they do boss fights that you have to like be considerate of where you're standing, and your position is important, and I do give them credit for that. Of really trying to make the Halo the Halo fight more strategic and more team oriented, because you have to have communication when you do it, and it's really interesting the way they did that. There's a lot of good ideas in Destiny, and I think it's worth noting that they're there. It's just hidden under like a series of cosmetic updates and incremental updates. I remember my friends. Oh boy, one of them. I was asking like what they do on Destiny, because he said he plays for like 3 hours a night, and I was like, well, "How do you play Destiny for 3 hours a night? Just the multiplayer?" And he goes, "Honestly, for about an hour, they're just changing the colors of their cosmetics," and it's like this is like an adult male Barbie game, and it's kind
put
of
that in the winter.
disgusting.
Shit.
It's kind of disgusting that it got to that point, and in that way, this game is kind of a disgrace.
So I had
Sorry, that's all
I
I'll
had
say.
to I had to look it up because you got me curious. They ended their partnership with Activision in 2019.
Okay,
They went independent, and then they got bought out by Sony in 2022.
okay.
So Bungie is now owned by Sony, and they have 2 games in development that are supposed to come out this year and next year.
Sony's
For
got him
all
in a
consoles
dungeon.
still.
Free Bungie.
And it still says coming out for like Windows, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. But that's just interesting that like now they've, because like if they would have stayed with Activision and got sucked up with them, they would have just ended up back with Microsoft.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what had me curious. I'm like, wait a second, are they still there? I was
That
like,
would be so funny.
like, did they get soaked back into Microsoft somehow? And then I was just like looking, I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Sony owns them now, which means that they're gonna make Last of Us. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm not into. My vote obviously goes for Halo. I'm not a Destiny guy.
Same. Halo.
Consider Destiny's Destiny.
Destiny Child.
Oh no. Destiny loses.
Aw.
Now, if Destiny did have a child, what would it be?
I don't know. I don't like this question.
I don't know. It's your choice.
None of them work.
Well, a lot of them came out after. I mean, so that's one approach.
Spencer, what do you want to do next?
Let's kick it super old school and go Doom.
Doom. Well, technically, that's not the oldest school could have gone. That is pretty old.
To me, it's
Don't bring it up.
definitively old school.
No,
Alright.
in terms of like iconography, yeah. Technically, the oldest one would have been Wolfenstein, but we'll do.
Whenever
Doom's
people
comparable.
talk about it, usually Doom is your go-to. But I'll only be talking about the old school of both of these, so I'm excited.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, you haven't played the newer ones?
Nope, never touched them.
That's
Shame.
sad. Yeah, Doom. I love Doom. I'm a big fan of. I'll be saying this for both of them, this and Wolfenstein. I'm a big fan of the id shooters. I also like Quake and the first Rage. I never played the second Rage. I don't know if that one's any good, but
Unreal Tournament.
yeah, they're. Yeah, Unreal. Well, no, wait, that's not. That's like Epic, right? That's not.
Yeah, but they're all like in the family together.
Yeah, if you kind of
Like you like
that,
those older
yeah,
fast
like
Twitch
Duke
shooters.
Nukem and stuff, like those. Yeah, but I'm just talking specifically id Software. I think makes some great stuff back in the day, and they still do make good, like really good games. But just iconic, and I think Doom is probably their most iconic product. Like everyone knows the Doom music. Like everyone knows like the Doom guy icon. Face is at the bottom of the screen of the original game and stuff. It's a very iconic game. Um, so in a lot of ways, it probably went on to inspire Halo, right? At least in terms of like the setting of like a space marine and stuff.
And vice versa.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So, I guess I'll pass it around and Teddy, what's your Doom experience?
What's my history of Doom? Doom.
Yeah.
Just like saying it like the boom shot guy in Gears of War.
Ooh.
Doom.
We'll get there.
I did not like the original Dooms, but I played them late, and I think that's part of my issue. And I was not I'm a console guy. What can I say? I like a good console. But the original Doom, I found those games like hard to visually stomach. Like it's just the motion is kind of, and like the level of pixelation is very hard to absorb with my eyes. I feel like I could just be complaining, but at the same time, I genuinely have a hard time playing older Dooms. That is not the case with 2016, which of the games that we played for today or to do the verses for the series, I actually feel is the best. It is a fan-frickin-tastic game. It's just nothing but combat and action. Subtract every story element of Halo and add demons and a hellscape, and you've got Doom 2016. Plus, add in RPG elements for your weapons, for your main character. Add in a codex if you care, like if you want to read about the lore of these creatures, which I didn't. I completely avoided all of it. And I'm most of the way through the first chapter, and really intense actions, really fun. It's got kind of like that regenerating health aspect, although it's not like the same as Halo. Halo happens over time. This one is like med packs. Pick up med packs. They regenerate your health, your armor. The ammo, you don't actually reload anything because you just go from a finite ammo amount in a clip. It's not realistic at all, but it's really fantastical. A lot of like very satisfying running, jumping, and those kind of like, I don't know what you call them, like those execution style kills where you get up real close to an enemy with low enough health, or when you could do more of like a stealth thing, hit them from behind. So it's got all the modern amenities. I guess that's a Bethesda one. Is that right?
It's still id Software, but yeah, it's published by Bethesda.
Yeah, I get kind of the Bethesda style from that, like the your Skyrims or whatnot. But it works. It works really well. It does feel very similar to a lot of other games. Now, the question of that versus Halo is a different question, but that's just my history. So I'll stop there.
Doom 2016 was sort of like an awakening for me to get back into first-person shooters. Because I wasn't really into them for a little bit because of games like Destiny and stuff that were kind of drawing me, kind of pulling me out of the gameplay and stuff, and was like, hey, do you want to buy a skin, or do you care about leveling up your pistol or something? And I'm like, not really. I don't give a shit about any of this. And Doom 2016 just kind of took it back, Like Doom 2016 is a modern game, but it has the ideals of a 90s shooter, where it's all about moving. Like that game is like, if you stand still, you're dead. Like you need to keep moving, you need to keep shooting. And I feel like a lot of those ideas might have been taken from Halo and some of the earlier Halo games, because they're also pretty fast paced in a ways, like where you need to always be on the move. And something that you didn't bring up, Teddy, that I love about that 2016 Doom is the fact that your health and ammo aren't tied to like just pickups, but if you're moving and you're always doing execution moves, you're going to be getting your health and ammo back, which is a brilliant gameplay concept because it rewards you for movement and just speed. So you feel like a fucking killing machine in those games. So I really like 2016. Eternal was good. I feel like it was a bit of a step back, but it was still really good. But yeah, even bringing Doom into the modern age, I think works really well. And I've heard the multiplayer is good. I haven't played it.
Um, you guys are gonna hate me.
Yeah.
Doom to me is just as a series encapsulates just about everything I don't like about video games. Even as like, because I used to play the originals back, or the original back in the day. Like, we would play that in class, like at school. Somebody would sneak in. I think it was like a floppy disk or something, or just have a program. I don't remember how it happened. It's been so long. But they would sneak it in, and we'd all be like huddle around and play Doom. It was like a novelty. And I always admired the ability to make it a first person shooter back then, like way back then, when it was like, we were like, how is this even possible? How are they going through these corridors like this? Because I was sitting there playing Mario. And I'm like, I play Mario, and you're like shooting demons in hell. Like, what the fuck? So fast, like almost like Teddy was saying, like nausea inducing speed of like, and the way that they would move, they were so disparate, and it was hard to really grasp what was going on, especially back then, because that kind of game hadn't even really existed, and for at least for like people like me. But I played it here and there. I could never really get into it. I would play it and I would be like, okay, this is kind of fun, and then I would just put it down. The Twitch shooting, just Unreal Tournament, all those games, they never appealed to me at all. That's actually why I like Halo. I mean, spoiler alert, but that's what I like Halo. It's slower. It seems more methodical to me. It's more I like playing with friends. It's like more team oriented. I like that camaraderie feel to it. I also don't really like gore. I think I've said that before on the show, but I don't like watching a lot of blood. The less, the better. And Halo, it's pretty minimal. There's a couple moments, and I like body horror, which might seem kind of weird, but gore itself, I'm just not that into. So Doom has just never been my thing. But I do appreciate it for what it is, and I admire that they made it way back then. That's just freaking cool. So good for them, but not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, like before we really coined the term first-person shooter, like they were just kind of known as Doom clones.
Yeah,
They were,
for a while.
Yeah, like that's impact, and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you are the genre for a while.
I think Doom was interesting too, because it was one of those first times where there was like a delineation between console players and PC players, where it was like, oh, you're over there playing Mario and Zelda. Okay, guess what I'm doing on this computer? And you're like, what the fuck? That's crazy. It was weird.
I didn't play a good port of the first Doom to console until like the original Xbox. I think Doom 3, like the special edition, had Doom 1 and 2 on it, and that was like the first time I played it on console, and I was like, oh, this feels good. Like, other than that, all the other previous ports to console, besides Doom 64, that's like an original game, but just like of Doom 1 and 2, they're not good. It took a while to like really get it, over to console.
Yeah.
So is Doom better than Halo as a series?
That is such a tough question.
It's so like I have to be objective, because if I'm picking which one I like the most, I'm picking Doom, because I really like, I'm a Doom stan, I like Doom a lot. But which one is better? Fuck.
I'll start. I recognize the historical impact of Doom, and it might be greater than Halo. However, I think Halo has elements that I find are more favorable than Doom. Doom is good for like your solo player experience, but Halo's kind of multi-purpose. It has so many ways you could play. You could play the campaign solo. You could do it co-op. You could play multiplayer, massive parties online, and I'm sure Doom has it, but I don't know people who talk about Doom multiplayer. And if you were to tell me, like, I'm as much as I'm enjoying Doom 2016, if you were to tell me which would you, if you could go without one of these, you know, would you rather go without playing the original Halo campaign trilogy, or going through, you know, the Doom library? I want Halo. I just think that it fits my bill. There's something epic about it. Every time I go in, kind of this campaign, it's charming, it's funny. It almost has like the Resident Evil 4 effect, where it's like, you know, I don't take it too seriously, despite it being serious, like a serious military sci-fi shooter. And so I always get kind of like a feeling, like multiple positive feelings playing through the Halo campaign. I don't need the Halo multiplayer, to be honest. At this point, I think it's kind of impossible to get into if you're not like a FPS god. But as far as campaigns go, for what it's worth, I say Halo's more approvable.
Do you get the impression that that Bungie takes, or sorry, that Halo takes its story more seriously than the fans do? I always got that impression.
Yeah, a
Like,
little
all
bit.
right, chill, guys.
Yeah, after playing the remaster, I definitely got that.
I kind of voice Teddy's sentiments, is that it's hard because of the impact that Doom has had, but I think it's also important to highlight the impact that Halo's had, because once they brought first person shooters and some Doom inspired stuff to the masses, and I think made it more popular, found a control scheme that worked, that was then emulated by everybody else, including Doom, down the road. So it's, to me, I have to go Halo. I just think it's because Halo's is two dichotomies. It's a Bungie and then 343, and I am obviously specific to Bungie Halo, but that era is so important to gaming that I put it ahead of Doom.
Yeah, I'll go Halo, but I think modern Doom has the potential to overtake the Halo franchise, but they've only done 2 of them so far, and they're really good, and I would like to see more. But in terms of just like Doom has such a large impact, and it's very important. It's like when you talk about RPGs, you talk about like the, you know, like the NES RPGs and stuff. Like they're really important, but like, am I gonna play those NES RPGs over, you know, Final Fantasy VII? Probably not. So you know, I'm gonna go with Halo. I think Halo is the better franchise overall, but I still love me some Doom.
Well, and it's important to say, if we were comparing it to 343,
Oh,
would
three
be
for it's
Doom in a
fucking,
heartbeat.
it'd be Doom in a heartbeat. I would
Yeah.
kick 343 out a window with my Doom guy. And they blow up in a fiery explosion in hell or something. Yeah, that's important to note. Whenever we're talking about Halo, we're really talking about, like, me personally, I'm talking about like Halo 2/3, like the pinnacle of the Bungie era, you know, like somewhere around there, probably.
1, 2, and 3, and I do take into account the future stuff, but only as like really just as a benchmark of where the series is headed.
Yeah.
And where, you know, it may have fallen short.
And to be fair to 343, I do like Infinite. Like, I don't think that's a bad game. It took them a few missteps to get to a point to where I'm like, I like this one. So
I have mixed feelings on it.
it's still not great, but it's good. I would say it's good. I'd say overall, but we can talk about that at some other point.
Sure.
All right. Well, talking about mixed feelings, what's next?
We can stop sucking Id's dick for a second and move to something else. Let's do Gears of War.
All
Yeah,
right.
you know, if Halo was the golden child of the original Xbox, Gears of War might have been one of the golden childs of the 360 era. You know, when the 360 was the console to have at the time, I wasn't as into the Halo games that were out. I was more into Gears of War. So, interesting matchup, both from Microsoft. ones coming from Epic Games though, and man, what an epic series of games they were for a while.
Let's talk. Which series is the best? Halo versus Gears of War. But let's start with our experience. I think it's safe to say all three of us were Gears fans at some point.
Very limited amount of time, but yes.
I still say I am.
And I
Not
was
like
and still am, but
avid,
not
though.
as much as Alex here. So let's go into our experience with Gears of War. What's your experience with Gears of War, Spencer?
Resident old man gamer here. Yeah, I remember when this game came out, it was huge. It was marketed as like a shooter where you could also chainsaw a alien to death. So,
yeah.
or a monster, really. I don't fucking know what they are. But it had a lot of attitude and it had a lot of really big guys. So it was more marketed, like when I remember it coming out, it was more the ideas of it were exciting. The gameplay itself, to be seen. When it came out, it was fun. A lot of fun. But there is kind of a requirement to it to me, is that it has to be played multiplayer. If you're not going to play this game multiplayer, you're missing out on like 50% of this game. As played as a single player. I remember I played this game with a friend, had an absolute blast. The first one I'm talking about. By the time the second one came out, I was kind of out. But played the first one with a friend, and we tore it down. It was so much fun. Like hollering, hooting. I played this game by myself like a month later, and I fell asleep by like mission 2. I was like, this is boring. It's really a bro shooter, and I think it brought that element out more than Halo did, because Halo took itself very seriously, and Gears was clearly just out there to have a good time. And I mean, it has its moments, but in general, I mean, it's just a crazy game. So the invention of the bro shooter, I think, starts with a combination of Halo and Gears, and I think it's an important landmark for Microsoft. And I don't know about its global effect on gaming as a whole. I feel like it's still almost its own niche, but the bro part is important.
Yeah. When I say I'm a fan of Gears, I mean I'm a fan of like what the first 3 games, and like what they've given after those first 3 games that weren't by Epic. They're good, but they just don't give you a lot, That's just like after the first 3 Gears of War games, which are at the time were like revolutionary games, cover shooters, great multiplayer games. The online multiplayer was never my thing with those games, but they were fun. I played a little bit of it, but I was mainly into like the campaigns and like the horde mode. Horde mode was huge. I mean, I love that.
Horde
Like,
mode.
Gears, woo, that's fun. Yeah, and it seemed like after Gears 3, they did that Judgment game, which was not by Epic, but by People Can Fly. That was the company. And it was fine. Like, it wasn't bad. It was fine. And then Coalition took it over for Gears 4 and 5. And they're also fine games. Like, they're not bad games at all, but they're just like more of the same. It just seems like you're just playing more. You're just playing more Gears of War. So I was a huge fan of the series back on 360, and I still am a fan of the series, but I always just kind of wish they would have done something with the games. I think 5 tried a little bit. They did like a little bit of like an open world thing with 5, which was neat, but it still just kind of felt like Gears of War. So it just, it was like by Gears 4 and 5, it's like, guys, what are we doing? Like, why are we still doing this?
Sure. I mean, I really think, and I've yet to play one outside of the first one, but that first one, when it first came out, commanded attention. The first game I could think with chainsaws attached to your automatic weapons, the active reload, the co-op pick your buddy up, the massive beefcakes, and it was not a perfect game. It was sloppy. I think if you played this again since then, you can kind of see that with either the co-op or some of the solo player stuff. But man, was it epic. It just was so, like, there were so many moments in the game, so many big bad enemies. Just like the experience getting the sniper rifle, getting the active reload, getting the headshots, man, picking them off, using the hammer of dawn on these big massive creatures. A big berserk guy, I think, comes chasing. So many moments, and I think it was a real competitor to Halo at first. And I think over time, it just became less interesting. Like Horde mode, I get it. I get the appeal of Horde mode. But if that's all they were really banking on, I don't see that as enough to compete with the legendary likes of the Halo series.
It is notable to me though that Gears always had a better cast of characters for me. Like there's so many Gears characters I can quote, and and I remember, not counting just like the main 4 team members you have, but just other characters you run into or like other enemies you fight. In Halo, it's like Master Chief and Cortana, like the Arbiter, I guess. It's like they don't really have that big of a cast of characters, and that was a big appeal for me for Gears, was like just the personality that the games had.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It was screaming with personality. Almost, like that was, I think, it hinged on it.
Literally screaming.
Whoa, gold trade. But without it, I don't know that it even would have been half the game. I think that makes for a big part of it.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of personality, you can't talk about Gears without talking about Cliffy B, our boy.
Our boy.
The Blazinskis.
Big B.
Huge dude. 49.
Yeah, huge the dude. Giant the dude.
A giant among men.
I just remember, like, back when he was marketing his game here, he was so noteworthy because gaming journalism had always been like a trying, I guess, to be serious, even though it's nonsense. But there were like rules and protocols, and then Cliffy B, like in an interview, he'd be like, "Yeah, their game's fucking awesome." Like he would just say that, but it was like, did he just say fucking what?
Shameless.
Do you remember the Mad World trailer for the first Gears, where was playing that song?
It's a very, very
Mad
World.
You know what? It's funny that you say that, because so on my recording, I'm playing trailers for all the games, and this one is Gears of War Xbox 360 trailer, Mad World trailer.
That's such an iconic trailer, That's such a cool trailer.
Yeah.
This one's hard for me. I
know you think it's a good trailer. I just find it kind of funny.
Well,
I find
at
it
the
kind of
time,
sad.
It was cool. Yeah. You guys doing the weird. I don't know the song. You listen to that damn song.
You just said you like the Mad World trailer. You don't know the first line of the song.
I know the music, like the piano, like the sad piano music. I don't know the lyrics.
The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. Come on.
That's true.
I don't know the song, guys.
People just keep saying lyrics to the song, and I'm just like not know what we're talking about.
I know the part where he goes, "It's a mad world."
That was next. Mad World.
Why the hell did you sing that like the fucking guy from Alice in Chains?
To be honest, I don't like that song, Mad World. I think it's a really stupid song. It's Tears for Fears. That's who does it.
Is it Tears for Fears? I have no idea.
I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong on that. I
Did they do that one song that's like shout? Let it all out.
Maybe I'm wrong on that. Whoever it is, I really think it's a bad song. And when this trailer came out, it became like everyone's favorite song in my thing.
Wait, is it John Mayer? Is it John Mayer? Is it him?
No, he might have done a remake, but this is
who the hell is this?
I don't want to change my thing, but let me look. Who does Mad World?
Platinum Games. They made Mad World for the Wii.
Tears for Fears. I'm right.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, when this trailer specifically came out, my friends were like, "Have you heard that Mad World song?" And I'm like, freaking like lyrically, it's a nightmare. It's like terrible.
I couldn't imagine bragging about hearing the Mad World.
Well, that's the dude bro thing.
But dude, have you heard the Mad World?
It only works for the trailer because it's like so contrasting, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
piano music, and you're seeing Marcus fight like spiders and stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, I just see Teddy. I was a little older, and so I had friends that were kind of getting out of high school, and they're like they're feeling things now. Like they're trying to be girlfriends and stuff, and so they're just like, this song speaks to me. You know, this song's fucking dumb, dude.
No, dude.
No,
No.
listen to it.
Listen to the lyrics.
Listen to
It
the
just
lyrics.
speaks to me. What more dreams where I'm dying?
Yeah.
You guys ready to vote?
Sure. Halo.
You know, it's almost apples to oranges, but if we're gonna have to do it, I would say Halo. Yeah.
I'm going Gears on this one. I think I'm just more of a Gears fan overall. And if I was going to go back and play those campaigns again, I'd probably go back and play more Gears. I'm
What
gonna go
makes them
Gears.
better games or better series?
Well, for one, I don't like the campaign in Halo 3, so I'm really putting like Gears 1, 2, and 3 up against Halo 1, 2, and 3.
That makes sense.
And while I do really like Halo 1 and 2, Halo 3 is kind of lackluster. I think all three of those Gears games have really good campaigns.
Okay.
And are just really replayable to me. So I like both, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably play Gears again.
Fair. But you're outvoted. Halo wins.
No! Cliffy B, you see what I voted for? Send me something. Send me a copy of your Lawbreakers game or whatever the hell. What the fuck was that game?
Free download code to Lawbreakers.
Send me a copy of Jazz Jackrabbit
There you
on
go.
floppy disk.
Hell yeah.
All right. I picked this one. Spencer,
I haven't picked
we
any.
have two
Oh,
left.
This is my pick.
Wait,
Teddy,
Teddy, I thought you picked one.
Not really.
Teddy
guess
gets
not.
to choose. Let Teddy
Teddy.
choose.
Teddy, you picked them.
Call of Duty. It's
Call of
Halo
Duty.
versus the other military game that is renowned
It's Halo,
worldwide.
but for fucking shows.
You're not
Oh,
too
man.
wrong.
If there was ever a brand more associated with Mountain Dew than Halo, it might be Call of Duty.
So, guys, what are we doing tonight? Spitting out my tobacco. We're doing some Call of Duty. That's my stereotypical image of a.
Dude, this game is like the bane of my existence. Is the Call of Duty franchise because
What?
stop. Hold on. Let me explain because I live in the South.
Okay.
And every time somebody finds out I play video games, they
They're
say,
like,
"Oh, what about Call of fucking Duty?" and
you're like,
I
what
can't
about
escape
it?
Yeah, what about it? I have like the last one I played was like Black Ops. You
Yeah.
know?
The last one I played was 4. I liked it for a time. It had its time, but I think once you played 1,
Yeah,
you really
that
felt
was
like you
sort of my
played 4.
issue with the Call of Duty for the longest time was I liked them for a little while, but it kind of felt similar to like the Maddens or the FIFAs, where it was like there was a new one every year and everybody just jump and ship, and it didn't seem worth it to me. It was just kind of like, well, it's the same game. We're just doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
But this year it's got like a new number, you know. And so
I disagree with that a little bit. Like they go back and forth in time. Like they go into like the future, and then they do more modern. I think there was some older ones too. I'm not the biggest Call of Duty guy, but I know they have like 3 different developers too that are working like simultaneously.
yeah, Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and another one.
Sledgehammer.
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds geeky enough to be the right answer.
Yeah, that sounds like it. I don't play the Sledgehammer one.
I play the Sledgehammer.
I don't like Sledgehammer. You like Infinity Ward? You're a fucking noob. Sledgehammer makes the best Call of Duties.
Yeah, well, This is a tough one because it is rooted in history. This Call of Duty, it's been around for a while, and it does in some ways have like a Madden effect. Um, but they do some things right. The TTK is really really low, and the it's represented to me like a newer generation of shooters that I can't grasp because there's too much going on. Like there's a lot of buttons to press. Either you're on console or you're on a PC. It's just a lot of buttons to press and keep track of, and it's too much for my old man brain. So I can have fun with it. I can jump in and they have a like a Fortnite style battle royale mode. It's fine, but it's a little bit disheartening when you die in literally 2 seconds. It's just it's a little too extreme for me, but it it is good. It's been around for a while. It's proven. I like what graphically they're beautiful. I love what they've done with the graphics over time. The guns feel really good for gun feel. It's probably better than Halo ever was. So for some of that stuff, it has the edge.
Sure. I mean, when I grew up with this game, it was probably like it was the big game. My friend and I like we play online. I remember playing these campaigns. In terms of difficulty, these ones they rival Halo. In terms of, and I think in terms of the historical value and representation, the fact that your guns are representative of the type of guns being used in the wars at the time. I'm not going to fact check. Like was it AK-47 an American one? I don't know, but. I mean, I just thought that it was interesting that every region had different weapons. And I remember like really getting into some of these multiplayer matches and, sometimes I get my ass handed to me and sometimes I would hand the ass and it was great.
Use your ass.
Hand your
Take
ass.
your ass.
5 loadouts. You die and then you pick a new one each time if you want, or you could stick with the same one. And it was 2 weapons. So that's like an element that Halo didn't have. Halo was just kind of, I think you just spawn BR and assault rifle in Halo 2 when you do multiplayer matches. Versus, I kind of like the flexibility, yet it was always an even playing ground because you have the same options as anybody else starting out. And then really using the terrain to your advantage was just something unique. Like really even looking for where's that sniper hiding. Like, yeah, there's an element to that in Halo, but I think it was more felt. And I'm not like all about realism. Like in games, it doesn't matter so much to me. But this is one where I think the realism made a big deal. Now, where Call of Duty had gone since, I guess, even Modern Warfare, I got less interested in it. It became more like drone warfare and things like that, which, again, that's in the realism territory, but it wasn't like as, I think, fantastical as like going back into a World War II simulator. Like that was really iconic to me. So I think Call of Duty had its day. Nowadays, I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel like I need to clarify a little bit. Was that I used to like I wasn't always just jaded towards Call of Duty. Whenever I was younger, I liked like Call of Duty 2, 3, like the first 2 Modern Warfares, the original ones that came out, and like World at War and the first Black Ops. Like I did enjoy them. I think after Black Ops, the series felt more like just a product. It just kind of felt like that's how it was being viewed as like for the industry. Like they didn't feel like games that were important anymore. They just kind of felt like, well, the new Call of Duty this time you have a dog. That's Ghost or whatever. I remember that being a big thing for Ghost. I remember there's a dog this time. I'm like, I don't fucking care anymore. But like they used to be cool. Like I remember like was it Modern Warfare 2? Like had no Russian, right? That was a fucking impactful mission. Like holy shit, I kill innocent people in an airport. Like what the hell? Yeah. Like there were important moments in those early Call of Duty games to me that were really impactful and they treated like the military games to be a little more serious then, and then after a while military games just became the multiplayer and a product to me, and it just felt less like now I don't even know what a Call of Duty campaign looks like right now. I don't even know what that is. Do they have them? Do they exist? Like, what is it? Like I hear nobody talk about it. And it felt like it was around Black Ops and the time that like Battlefield also blew up. That it just became like that was the focus, was just being a product. And that's when I fell out of it. I think at that time I jumped over to play, which I already liked them anyway. But I started playing a lot more of the like Tom Clancy military games because they felt more like they were actually being military games, like Ghost Recon and Rainbow Six. And those games eventually took their own turns, but at the time they were still good. So yeah, that's sort of my history with the series. And so at one point I did like it.
And let's not forget, Call of Duty brought us zombie mode, which is
That's
fun as fuck.
yeah, it did. The problem with Call of Duty Zombies was that I had an Xbox 360. I love that thing, and everybody was talking about how much they love Call of Duty Zombies. But I had a little game called
Zombies. Yeah.
yeah. Everybody was like Nazi zombies, yeah, and I had a little game called Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. So
Those are different experiences.
They're better experiences, though. So.
Maybe, but they're different. I see that as filling a different niche. I like both of them almost equally.
Really?
If we're talking about the original, yeah, the original. Because Left 4 Dead was more of a like venturing out and trying to get to a goal, and the zombies, the original zombies, at least I know they experimented later, but the original zombies was like, I don't want them getting in.
It was like
And,
a horde mode.
Like defending yourself, which I thought both of them have their place and are freaking amazing. You know, for
My
almost
problem with calling Nazi zombies part of Call of Duty is the same as it is calling Horde mode part of Gears of War. It's just supplemental. It's like a bonus mode. It's not. I don't view it as integral to the Call of Duty name, and it is. It very much is.
I do.
Some people buy
I think
it
it's
for it though.
You know, I think it's a separate thing. Like I don't know. I
I
can't
don't-
in good faith say like Call of Duty's better or Gears of War is better. Let's just say because Horde. I spend so many hours in Horde mode.
Why not?
It just doesn't feel like I don't know. It doesn't feel truthful to me.
But
I
I can
To
understand
nitpick
why
this-
somebody would. I'm just saying I can't.
to nitpick slightly,
Sure.
you did say that your favorite, and I was listening to this only happened because I was listening to part of the map out of this morning. No, the game talk that came out this morning. Little time reference for
hey,
and the thing that well, I don't know. I'll take it back. Never mind.
We're gonna say like
Forget it.
Mercenaries mode or something. I wouldn't say that for Resident Evil 4.
No, I was. It seems tangential. I don't.
All right. We just move on.
Forget it. Never mind.
but to be fair, I do know people that buy those games just for the zombie modes.
Right.
Yeah, we
I
would
think
go. We would go to internet cafes and play just the zombie mode all the time.
I think the only Call of Duty experience I've had after the first Black Ops was my buddy David, because he really likes those Call of Duty games too. He bought like, I don't know what the newer ones are. I don't know if it was like Black Ops 4 or like something, or Advanced Guy Soldier 8 or something, but he bought one of those damn games, and we played some like he was like, dude, come play the zombie mode with me. I was like, okay, whatever. So we were playing like split screen, and he put on a zombie mode, and it was like I was in a neighborhood and there were like zombie aliens and stuff, and I was like, what is this game now?
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, I don't know what I know what the hell is happening. It was like I was like Abe Lincoln, and it was like I don't know. I was like, what is this, like its own thing? And it sort of is like the zombie Call of Duty zombie fan base is sort of like their own fan base now. Like they have like their own characters and rules, and it's weird.
That's the thing, is it's weird. It almost feels like a cheap trick or a cheat code for the game to be in the like public vocabulary.
Cheap trick.
Cheap trick.
Maybe
He's
the new one,
all right.
the original one that
he's
I
all-
played. The original one that I played was really solid.
Yeah.
It was like, it was fantastic. It was
Was it the World at War one? That's the one I think.
maybe
that was
I
first
don't
Who
know.
knows?
I don't know
Modern
Call of Duty
Warfare,
history.
Modern Warfare. I think they had some.
Call of Duty month. Call of Duty History Month.
But it was fantastic, and I liked it for its simplicity, and I liked the mystery of it, of trying to get just a little bit further and seeing what else was in that house. And I know, yeah, they went a little wild with it later, and better for worse. I don't really know, but I love the idea of the zombie mode, and I think you could rate it with that in mind, just like you would with the horde mode that Gears introduced.
Even so,
Yeah,
rating it
and
with
you
it
know,
in mind, my opinion is still not favorable. I don't think it trumps the Halo experience.
I'm gonna say Call of Duty beats Halo. I would put Call of Duty over Halo. Um, you said something interesting to me, Tay. You're like, Call of Duty now just doesn't hold any value. Well, Halo to me now doesn't hold any value. I literally don't view either in that light. But Call of Duty is still successful. Halo, I guess you could be successful. I don't know what Microsoft's metrics are for Halo because now everything's on Game Pass and you can just whatever. But
well, I bet Infinite is doing okay because that's like free to play even if you don't have Game Pass. The multiplayer you can play
right, but that just further makes me be like, I have no idea what metrics they're going to use to define what success is for that game. But Call of Duty's successful. They make a ton of money. They influence things. They influenced Halo to basically change how Halo plays, which is annoying, but it is what it is.
That's true.
I think they have a good grasp on DLC of how to monetize that well, and I can't stand it. But I can't. It's not for me. But it's huge, and just like Alex said, when he says he doesn't even say he's a first person shooter player. He just says I play video games, and they say, "Oh, do you play Call of Duty?" I mean,
hey, it's
so
the
Call
worst.
of Duty is doing better. Clearly, that you can't argue that. But is it the better series? For that reason alone, like this, the impact.
Its impact is huge.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay.
I mean, I love Halo more. I'll play Halo 1, 2, and 3 over any of the Call of Duties, but Call of Duty's freaking huge. And I think their impact is so much bigger at this point. It's kind of embarrassing to put to put Halo next to Call of Duty. Like modern. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm still voting for Halo. I just don't like Call of Duty very much. So,
fair enough.
Sorry, Activision.
I think there's also just kind of like a philosophical difference of like, I don't know, it could be a better performing series, and I could still think that the experience is more iconic in the original Halo trilogy, whereas I can't really name which Call of Duty is iconic because they're all so similar.
To me, it's an age thing too. Because I'm kind of with you in that I know Halo 2 is my favorite, and I remember being there for Halo 2 and the community getting together for that. And I don't really have that experience with Call of Duty, but I know it's there.
Yeah.
I know people love it. And almost I just don't even see it as a single entry. I just see it as a cohesive whole. And it's the biggest pod. It's the biggest fucking thing.
Looking at Call of Duty it's almost weird because I think during the 360, Microsoft had such a foothold on the first-person shooter market with Halo that it was also just the home of Call of Duty. Yeah, they were on PS3, but who the hell's
nobody's playing it.
Yeah, who fucking cares? And then it seemed like with the PS4, Call of Duty was really over on there at the time. Everybody was playing PS4, and that was where Call of Duty kind of lived. So it seems kind of weird now because, like, now if you think about it, Microsoft owns Call of Duty again. Well, not again, but they own them. So it almost seems like they're like, oh shit, we don't have a foothold in the FPS market anymore. I wonder how much of their decision to buy Activision Blizzard was just based on the fact that they could own Call of Duty.
Well, isn't that funny that Call of Duty was basically treated as a bargaining chip for like a decade of like, hey, we'll give you early. I remember they did like a thing with Sony where it's like, we'll give you a 6-month early release or something.
You get the special dog skin.
Yeah, like can you imagine like a game just wagering itself over an entire console? Let's just freaking.
That's what they did. Yeah, like I remember whenever it was big news when that shit was happening on the PS4. It was like, holy shit! I was like, we don't have to buy an Xbox One.
Yeah, it's just for this one game, like this one series. They don't even know what the game is, but they know it'll be Call of Duty, so it's like whatever. Yeah,
dude. Speaking of, because I don't know when we'll ever talk about Call of Duty again. Do you remember that E3 trailer that came out that was like a space game and like everybody was like so intrigued? I remember watching live streams. They were like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god!" And then it was like Call of Duty space guys, and like everyone was like, "Oh,
No.
that looked cool! Damn it!" It was
Got
the
you there.
funniest damn reaction.
Yeah.
Like no, the whole world is collectively like let out like a sigh, like oh damn, no, that was something new.
A staunch reminder, though, that Call of Duty is a very good-looking game.
Oh
They-
yeah, yeah. No, nobody ever argued that.
They maximize what they can get out of that console.
So it still loses today because me and Teddy voted for Halo. Wah, wah.
Indeed. What? This leaves us a primary contender left. And here's where I think I'm getting a little more nervous for our buddy Halo. It's the Bark Bark Woof Woof Wolfenstein.
Good old Wolfie. This if Doom was the grandfather, this is the great grandfather of FPS games. Wolfenstein. Really, its first foray. Really, like almost. I think it like the first Wolfenstein was like maybe not kind of like some weird prototypes and like some weird other game like maze games. Like probably was like the first commercial first-person shooter game. And it's still around.
It's
if you
more
count
than around.
2019.
It's
If you count 2019 as being around, but still, it's still a viable franchise. Never really went away. I'm gonna be completely honest. I already know where my vote's going for this one.
Well, let's just
But I
start
would
with
like
what's
to
your
know.
history with Wolfenstein and what is it? So I have the new order on screen, but this is the Halo series versus the Wolfenstein series. So Alex, go ahead. Tell us what's your history with Wolfenstein.
Yeah, Wolfenstein is a series that I always heard about the first Wolfenstein 3D, right? That was the one everybody always talked about. Wolfenstein is actually older than Wolfenstein 3D. There were some old PC games that were like top-down looking games almost, where you kind of snuck around Nazi bases. But 3D is really where we think of Wolfenstein. And I remember that game. Just like growing up in the era of like the early internet and like YouTube, everybody always talked about Wolfenstein 3D, and I didn't really have a chance to play it until like I was a little older. And to be honest, that first Wolfenstein 3D isn't my thing. I think if you don't like Doom, you're not gonna like Wolfenstein 3D because it's more primitive Doom.
Mm-hmm.
But after Wolfenstein 3D, they brought Wolfenstein back around like the PS2 era with Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and then they had some other games. They had a 360 game called just Wolfenstein, and both those games are really good. But where the series really picks up for me is, like Teddy said, the New Order and the current games that are made by, I think it's Machine Games. Yeah, by Machine Games. I got a taste of the New Order on the 360. This is a crazy story, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember, like whenever the PS3 and Xbox One, sorry, the PS4 and Xbox One came out, they were still doing cross-gen games, and some of those games should not have been cross-gen. And Wolfenstein: The New Order is one of them because I bought it on the Xbox 360, and that damn game had 4 discs. Why the hell did that game have 4 discs? It was crazy. But I didn't have a new console, so that's how I played it. And I soaked up every damn minute of that game, and I was locked in from there. And the current Wolfenstein franchise with Machine Games, to me, is like my favorite first-person shooter games. I fucking love those games. I bought every one. I bought the special edition for 2, so I have a giant BJ Blazkowicz figure that sits next to my computer desk. He's huge. But those games have like the tightest gameplay. They're very hard. They're very frantic. Fantastic campaigns. Almost feel a little inspired by Valve, like Half-Life, because they're stories that are just told in the first person. There are some cutscenes, but really like experiencing the areas. I mean, there's an area in the first Wolfenstein where you go to a like a Nazi death camp, and it's like really haunting. It's very cool, and the games are just very fun and fluid. And I mean, who doesn't want to shoot some damn Nazis, right? Like if there's more than aliens, if there's one set of enemies everybody wants to shoot in the face, it's the Nazis, right? Not counting the current Nazis that don't want to shoot them in the face, but insane people. Yeah, they have great plots, and they're just overall like some of the best feeling shooters I've ever played. And I love the new Wolfenstein games. They're great.
Uh,
Oh no. I don't like that sound.
no, it's positive. My history with Wolfenstein is very, very limited, and limited entirely to Wolfenstein 3D. I have very fond memories. This is going to sound ridiculous now, but we actually, me, my friend, and my brother, because I'm a twin, so wherever I go, a lot of times, especially at that age, my brother would be there. And so me and the three of us turned it into a multiplayer cooperative game. Because again, first-person shooters were very new at the time, and we didn't really know how to play. Maybe my friend did; he just didn't want to tell us. But we had one of us shooting with the space bar, the other one controlling with like the arrows, and I can't remember what the third person did. I maybe just cheered on. I don't even remember. But we actually we saw get up. We somehow turned it into like a 3-player multiplayer cooperative game, and we made it all the way through and beat that game. And it was wild. It was so much fun to see. Like I liked the guy's face at the bottom, and when he was getting hurt, he's like, ah, I was like turn all red and shit. Very fond memories of that, and for that I'll always appreciate. I liked it more than Doom. It just felt more. It felt more tight. It felt more concise. I'm sure nowadays, if I look back on them, I'm sure there were more similarities than not. But at the time, I felt better about Wolfenstein than I did Doom. And the new ones, I haven't touched them before. Just first-person shooter, single-player games. I don't understand. Like, huh? But that being said, I do like some, but they're more RPG-ish, like Dishonored. I'm a huge Dishonored fan, so I mean, not that far away, I guess, from Wolfenstein, but I'm sure it's just less of an RPG. But I'm sure they're great. They look great, the new ones, so credit to them. And I like what they're doing with the series. It's got its own style, its own flavor. But I don't have a lot to say on the new stuff.
And my experience is solely relegated to the New Order, which I've tried twice in my life. Once when it was like kind of popular and first coming out and kind of the hot cake, and once now for trying to play it for this. And I can respect it. I respect its legacy. I feel like this is one of those games that, in the popular opinion, can do no wrong. It is like the perfect FPS experience. And, it's killing the most politically agreeable enemy in mankind, like, so you almost can't shit on it. And I will say that it's more engaging, I think, than going back and playing a Call of Duty campaign. Like, I think it's really well paced. I mean, the first mission, I'm jumping out of a freaking airplane or something. Like, it's pretty cool. I think where I get lost is, one, I think I'm just burnt out from like the standard military campaign, and I know it introduces elements of sci-fi and historical fiction, like what if the Nazis won and what if they integrated with high tech. The idea is not so novel to me. I've read The Man in the High Castle. I've seen the HBO special, and I mean, I think I'm just bored of killing Nazi like concepts in games. So I don't really gravitate towards it. But I can recognize my bias. So when it comes to Halo versus Wolfenstein, I'd probably just abstain and let you guys vote.
Okay. I do want to, if my camera will work, I do want to show my figure, though. Here it is. For people that don't at home that don't know what I'm talking about. This came out with Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. The giant 50s style BJ Blazkowicz doll. And I never opened the box, but in the box he has like weapons and stuff you can give him. So he can actually like hold guns and stuff, and it's like pretty stupid. But he sits next to my desk like all the time, and he's Terror Billy. It has like a whole story because it's like Nazi propaganda. So like he's being painted as like the bad guy, but yeah, so it has like weapons and stuff that it comes with, and he has a jacket. So pretty neat. Show that. Turn the camera back off so the thing doesn't fuck up. Yeah, I do think Wolfenstein, the newer games, are for a certain type of gamer, almost like that new Doom series. It's for people that are into old school shooters, like a little more like fast frenetic shooters, because they are very fast and very hard. Like you don't have regenerating health. It's like it's all health packs. And the enemies are just on your ass. It feels like a fight for survival, which is fitting because you're fighting against like a whole empire of Nazis. So, but I just think the weapons in those games have like the best feel I've ever had for like a shooter. And I don't know, Spencer, you should really try them. I think you like. Granted, they're a little more open, but you like BioShock and stuff, right? Like.
Yeah,
I feel like it's almost in that camp. It's more linear for sure, but it's like almost in the BioShock camp, I think.
yeah, I could see it. I could see it a little more like military, but with the BioShock like.
Oh yeah, I mean,
element
it
of
has
wonder
those
and
like
surprise.
Yeah, and it has those like fantastical. I mean, in the second one, you go to a movie set on the moon and you get to see old ass Adolf Hitler, like, which is it's just funny, and like also I should say, do you know this will tie back in? But you guys know like that stereotypical type of girl that likes like serial killer stuff,
Yeah,
it's like
every
meme,
girl.
Like every white girl, yeah, it's like it's
Every
like, oh,
girl.
she's scared of horror movies, but
universal.
she's scared of like horror movies, but she'll watch like serial killer documentaries. That's sort of me with Nazi stuff. Like I'm sort of obsessed with how awful they were and stuff, and like learning about Nazi stuff. So like getting to kill a bunch of them is sort of in my wheelhouse. It's like, yeah, it's like if they made a shooter like this, but with you get to kill serial killers, like, every girl would be all about that too. So it just seems like that's also part of my bias.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
I guess I just don't hate
I'm going
Nazis as
Wolfenstein.
much as you.
You don't hate Nazis as much as me. You don't hate Nazis as much as me, but I'm also interested in it because of. I mean, how the fuck did that happen, right?
Oh, that's a whole nother podcast about how that happened. But
that's not our podcast.
Yeah, that's not ours. I just don't see how you couldn't go Halo over it. I respect Wolfenstein. It's it always felt like a cult game. Like it's the game that anybody from the outside wouldn't know, and then once you started understanding the history, like, oh, Wolfenstein, that's a big deal. But it's just never, and just for the fact that it's not a multiplayer experience. Maybe there was one that was or something, but I mean, come on.
Well,
Halo
what's
is...
funny is you brought up Dishonored, and that Wolfenstein Young Blood game that was co-op. That one was by the Dishonored guys, and it's like the worst one.
Well, there's like two different Dishonored teams. It's all getting so confusing.
Oh, okay.
But there's like, yeah, there's it's all confusing at this point. I don't even know.
I think it might have been the Redfall guys too.
Yeah,
whatever that team is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so whatever. I mean, and then they the whole Bethesda thing of just passing people around. I'm sure that just happens too. But yeah, just with the multiplayer part of it, that's one of the big reasons Halo is what it is. It's just making a multiplayer game, which is what I think is the key of first-person shooters. There's a place for single-player ones, but when you can go multiplayer, I mean, come on, that's huge. So I just say Halo.
I've already abstained. What do you guys want to do?
I don't really
Flip a
understand why
coin?
you would abstain. Why don't you just vote?
I don't know. I feel like with Doom, it's like, or at least I've tried the old ones, and I did get into 2016. I think my problem with Wolfenstein is like I tried playing one game twice and kind of just gave up on it multiple times. Is that enough context? It is the best of the series.
Sure. What's your opinion?
I don't know. What does Alex think? Should I re-enter the vote?
Alex has said no.
That's up to yeah, stay out. Wolfenstein could win. No, it's up to you, Teddy.
I want the wheel.
You want the wheel?
I want the
Can we make
you
the
know
wheel
what? I'll pull
happen?
it up on my phone. Unless you guys can
Okay.
argue each other out of your positions.
I don't think we can.
Wheel of Names. Here we go.
Mine's based on facts, and Alex is based on this emotion that he has. So
Love.
It's great.
This is based on love. But now Bethesda, not Bethesda, Microsoft owns not only Wolfenstein but the teams behind it. Just make a Halo campaign. That's all they gotta do. Get these guys to make a Halo campaign.
That is so true. It's like, you know what? Let's just get anybody else to do it.
Okay.
Why is it going so
I'm ready.
slow?
I haven't spun
Well,
it
he
yet.
has to tap, yeah, he has to tap it. He has to tap
Oh, okay.
All right, here we
Yeah.
go.
it. Halo should have been green.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein.
He got it. Yeah. Based on
Needs
pure luck
the
alone.
flow.
Wolfenstein's your winner. Halo's out.
Oh wow!
Yay. Yay. Fight me, comments. Come get it. It's a fucking.
I feel like shit.
You guys ever see fucking The Watchmen? I was thinking of that scene. That scene in The Watchmen where Rorschach's in prison and it's like I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. That's me with the comment section on this episode.
I think literally everybody's seen that scene, and it's the only scene they remember from that
That's
movie.
the only good scene from that movie.
Yeah.
that scene. I think it's that scene and the scene where the fucking I don't remember their names anymore. The blue guy, he explodes Adrian like on the moon or something. And he like blows up or something with his mind. I don't
I
remember.
remember trying to watch that movie one time with a friend, and they were like, I was like, "Who's that?" He's like, "It's like a Batman guy, but he doesn't really have any powers."
Owl guy
And then,
is an owl.
and then I was like, "Who's that blue guy?" He's like, "He has an all-knowing being that is basically a god." I said, "Okay, I'm out." Like this is
Yeah, I used to love that movie as a teenager. I bet if I went back and watched it now, I would fucking hate it.
yeah.
But it was like the coolest thing whenever I was a teenager. I bet it's garbage. I'm kind of scared.
We do technically have one more game though.
Do we?
Yeah,
Oh, we do have one more game. We don't have much time though.
we promised.
Speed
it.
run.
You want to
Speed run.
Okay, it's time for the showdown everyone's been waiting for. You wondered which FPS could really rival the likes of Halo. We decided together it's Splatoon, Nintendo's take on the FPS genre. And for the image, I have Splatoon 2 because it's got the long, slender box, and Splatoon 1 came out on the Wii U. More like Wii U. Subscribe for more squids.
It's the only one I've played is on the Wii U. Nintendo's Paint Bukkake Simulator. Hey, you want to spot your friends with some paint?
What's the bukkake?
really like that.
Teddy.
All right.
Oh, Teddy. What's a bukkake? Don't look it
What's
up.
a bukkake? I don't.
What's
The
in,
less
what's
you
in a
know.
bukkake?
The less you know, the better, Teddy. Yeah, I played Splatoon when it came out on the Wii U because I had a Wii U and it was my primary console and nothing else was out. And I played it. And that was, I mean, at the time it was exciting. Like, oh, a new Nintendo franchise. Cool, you know? I almost feel like Splatoon to me lost its novelty after they started making games. Like, okay, so like every other Nintendo franchise, it's like Mario Kart, Smash, whatever. It's like there's a game per generation or per console almost, right? Not even that. Mario Kart 8's been on 2 consoles. But it seemed like Splatoon came out and it was like, oh, nice. This game's pretty cool. And it was fun. It was fun. Like, I like the mechanics of the game. And then whenever Splatoon 2 was like, a few years later, they were like, Splatoon 2 coming to Switch, launch game, right? Like, launch window. And I was like, oh, I mean, it looks like Splatoon, but on the Switch, I guess that makes sense. And then they were like, Splatoon 3 also on the Switch. And I was like, it also just looks like Splatoon. So, like, I never ventured out beyond the first game because I didn't really feel like I need to. I felt like I already played the game. And it seems like, it's weird, but it seems like that's like the one series Nintendo's okay doing that with, is just doing the same thing again, you know? And it just, I'm disinterested.
Disinterested? Well, I'm just interested. I've never played one. Spencer?
It's an interesting game because it's trying to make a first person shooter, or well, a shooter game. It's technically not first person, but a shooter game for kids that you don't even win by shooting people. You win by the color being more of a higher percentage than your opponent. So you're just trying to paint the ground, and then you do hit your opponents, but it's almost incidental. What I would say is that I think it has a lost market. I think one of the problems is it's a noble cause to want to release a first-person shooter for kids that's safe to play. But I think even kids that at this age that can play this would probably still just play Call of Duty or Fortnite.
Yep.
Yeah,
You know,
I was gonna say, I don't even feel like it's popular with kids. I feel like it's popular with weird adults who want to fuck
Middle-aged
fish.
Adult Nintendo Switch owners.
I
You know,
would like to
saying
say
that
Alex is,
the freaking
yeah.
Switch is the dad console of the decade.
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, like
Dads
are you in your
love
40s and you're
Switch.
also are you in your 40s and you're also attracted to squid people?
I don't know why, but Alex has made this into a very sexual.
It is, dude.
Thank
the,
Nintendo.
The Splatoon,
Yeah, check
the
out the trailer. The girls
Splatoon
are like
fan
this,
base,
you know?
they have like the
squids,
pop
yeah.
idol characters and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
like people, it's weird.
It's the
I'm not
anime
into it.
problem that you have, Spencer. Nintendo has done
Yeah,
that too.
it's the
Splatoon.
squid
No,
problem.
this is not.
People
you're
want to
making this
fuck
something
those
it
damn
ain't.
fish.
This
Yeah,
is-
no, people want to fuck the fish.
This is
Yeah.
not that. Nobody
Bunch
listen
of
to
fish
Alex.
fuckers,
Everything
dude.
he's saying is internal. He's like internalizing.
Let me know in
weird
the comments. In the comments, if you
depravity
are
problems he's got.
if you want to fuck the damn fishes, let me know, and I will judge you harshly.
But anyway, I will say Halo is Splatoon is like a lost series to me. I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
At least it did better than Arms. Remember that?
Sexual about that. All right.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Try hands.
We can get started. I know. Yeah, Halo. Splatoon is cute and was exciting on the Wii U because like something new was happening, and then that was the last time it was exciting.
Yeah.
Like I think the E3 trailer for Splatoon 1 was more exciting than the actual game Splatoon 1.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh shit, new Nintendo franchise. And then like Splatoon 1 came out and it was like, yeah, it's a Nintendo game.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
The Halo campaigns, at least for the original trilogy, are epic. The Splatoon campaigns are a joke. So there you go.
Unless you want to fuck the fish. Then you're on.
Hurry, don't just interrupt Alex, Teddy. Don't even listen to that. It's
Would you rather play as Master Chief?
Or Master
Or-
Cheeks.
Yeah.
no.
Would you rather splurge on some enemies?
Ooh.
Oh, don't even.
Alex?
Splurge on some fish. Yeah.
I
On the
thought
ground, it
just
just
put
gets
better than
everywhere.
that. But it didn't. Yeah.
Bukake
This is
simulator.
it. I
Teddy doesn't
figured
know
it
what
out.
You're almost there. You're almost there, dude.
I feel like I'm
On
missing
the
something.
Bukake scale. Yeah, a little bit. You ever have a glazed donut before?
Oh my god.
All right.
I turned down Krispy Kreme
Halo.
yesterday.
Hey, oh, what the hell? Really?
Workout day.
Dude, Krispy.
I can't
Yeah, I don't
compromise the
drink.
workout.
I don't eat sweets like that.
Yeah.
I fucking love Krispy Kreme, dude.
I do too. Yeah,
Hell
but
yeah.
I won't compromise my workout.
Dunkin' Donuts is a fucking sham, though. Fuck Dunkin' Donuts. I'm all about Krispy Kreme.
Dunkin'
Donut
Donuts or
Wars.
Starbucks?
For coffee?
Yeah.
I was like, for donuts. I mean, Starbucks doesn't have donuts, so I guess my only choice is Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin' by
For
default.
yeah. For coffee, I'd probably. Oh man, Terry's gonna fucking get me on this one. I'll probably go Starbucks.
Mm. That's the real versus
Mhm.
coffee.
That's for fast food month.
Barista month.
You know, and now that we're wrapping up the episode, I just want to say, if you got upset by any of my opinions on this episode, I want you to look at my icon and realize that's who you're talking to. A man with a fat Wario. That's who you're going to be arguing with right now.
It's just standard
Is-
Oreo.
That's true. Fatter Wario.
Yeah, fat.
I am
Wario.
I am a man who is obsessed with a weird yellow Nintendo character. So
Yeah, if you got upset with any of my opinions, I just want you to see the kitty on the shirt. I want you to say hello.
If you got offended by any of my opinions, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper and shove it up your ass.
I thought you're going to be more clever than that, Spencer.
That was pretty good.
Ah,
The shove up the ass is kind of difficult.
Okay.
Like, how would that work?
You crumple it up,
Yeah,
go like this, and
Yeah.
try to shove it up your ass.
yeah. How does one shove
It's like-
items up
it's like
the
an
ass,
enema.
their own
It's
ass?
it's like an enema, right?
I think like
Yeah,
humans
ask the sexual monster Alex. I'm sure he has a
What? An
idea
enema's
of how to do it.
medical. What is that?
No, because
okay?
you're over here talking about bukakis and shit. Like, why don't you probably
Fish
do this?
bukkakis, yeah. Not to me. The weird fish fetish people. That like Splatoon.
You're just him projecting all this bukkake stuff. It's like he's like not into it. He's like, but I don't know anything about it. But I know every little buzzword, every little inside thing about it.
Speaking of which, guys,
Hey,
I think I'm thinking our next vacation should be the beach. No particular reason.
Tentacle Bay.
Yeah. So I'm saying. Nude
Was it
beach.
343 Spark the beach?
Well, he will be guilty after he's done with that. For sure.
Yeah, I'll have 343 crimes that have been committed. Charges that will be held against me.
Starting with anal penetration.
Alex is guilty with 342 crimes. Like, well, can I add like libel to it or something?
Hold on, let me get the starfish over here. Okay, that's that's another one. At least now it's funny.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.